Hi, my daisies. So today we're going to be creating this Christmas-inspired candy cane look on the screen, and we're also going to be listening to the How Far podcast by Temi and Mr. Eazi. The link to that will be in the description box below. Love you guys, and let's go. Mwah. I'm going to start off with, of course, foundation. Now, I have two foundations here, one from Note Cosmetics and the other one from Floma. I'm going to be mixing them with another Mary Kay one that I have to kind of get my shade because I don't have an exact match. Now, I mentioned before that sometimes I do add my primer to my foundation, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to add a little bit of primer into my foundation mixture, as well as apply some on my face. I've already moisturized my face and prepped it, so it should take to make up pretty relatively well. Then I'm actually going to spray some setting spray into the mixture, into the podcast with Temi and Mr. Eazi. They're so cute. They're actually so cute. And I haven't finished yet, but so far I think everything they've said in the podcast is pretty relatable, or anything or something that has already like crossed my mind before. So I guess I'm kind of going to be playing it as I'm doing my makeup, because why not? So I've finished the base. It's very simple, very minimal. I like to keep it that way for looks like this. So also, I know like my vibe is very calm because it's morning. It's literally like, what's the time? Like 8:30 or something, and I woke up at 7. So imagine. And to conceal, I'm using two concealers, one from LA Girl Cosmetics and the other one from Floma. This is Soft Beige 05. For the soft beige, I'm applying it more around the center part of my eye to kind of like draw that out when I'm blending. I'm going to start on my brows. I am going for like a laminated type of look brow, and as I'm doing it, I should have done this first. I just thought about it. So I'm going to use the glue stick method. I'm going to brush some of the stick glue onto my brows to like give it the laminated effect. And as I do that and you watch me do the process, I am going to be playing the podcast with Mr. Eazi and Temi because it's interesting.
A girl, even if I feel like, oh, she's interesting. I remember like I'll get on dates and I'll meet somebody and say, oh, like I'm just trying to be your friend. Like I'll just say it, like I'm not trying to move to you. So but because of that you might interpret it as me being mean. So guys, that day, maybe towards the end of, it wasn't our date, we just happened to be there, and I just said, hey, I've been mean, this is not good, let me just be nice. So I said, oh, give me your number, right? I was like, oh, let me have your number. So I collected her number and I was texting her.
After you brush your brows through with the glue, you're going to press them in and then kind of just leave it alone for a while to dry. Now that is going to help you have that laminated look effect, and once they are dry, I'm impatient, so when it comes to this process, you're now going to fill it in, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to be filling it in and then continue playing the podcast.
Temi is not replying. Oh, okay, she was replying, to be honest, but like she was taking her time to reply. So like I text her, like let's say I text her at 10 a.m. she'll reply me at like 12. I said, don't wait for me to reach you before you reach me back. Like
the ego.
In the song I was like, you don't want to lose me and then want me back. Wow. Like I was even tweeting, like
you were subtweeting. I didn't even follow you
I
on
was
Twitter.
even subtweeting, like why can't you reply? But anyway, let's go back.
We finally link, right?
Finally done with my brows. Now for the next step, I am going to use powder. Now the whole point of the powder is basically to, because I use a dark eyebrow pencil, So it's basically to neutralize the brow and make it look a bit more natural. So I'm going to be using this loose powder from Floma. Very lightly press it into the brows so that you don't take off your brows in the process. And because I didn't completely draw in all my brows, you don't need to be so heavy-handed with it as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is blush. Now I don't know if you guys already know, but the way I like to apply my blush is with a very pigmented red eyeshadow. So I have two of my favorites that I normally use. The one from Zaron is actually it's an eyeshadow palette, and it also has the blush in it. So it's this red one here. I've gone through it quite a bit. And my other favorite is the Z Cosmetics Culture Shock palette. This one, I broke it a bit too. This one, so I dip it into hot and then use it as that. But recently I found that I like when my blush is a bit more orange, still red, but just has a little bit of orange in it. So what I like to do is I have the XX Revolution Extravaganza palette, and I dip it into the orange eyeshadow and then dip it into the red one as well from the Z Cosmetics Culture Shock palette, and then use that to create a blush shade. I first dampen my sponge, of course, before I do that. Also guys, if you would like to order from Z Cosmetics, I have a discount code that you can use to purchase any item. It's 25% off, and the discount code is ADABABE. I've gone ahead to dip my sponge into these three, as well as dipping it into the Culture Shock palette in the color Hot. So I'm just putting all of them together, and then now I'm going to stamp it into my cheeks. So you have to make sure that your sponge or whatever you're using is damp, so that it actually transfers properly and doesn't, you know, make your blush look patchy. So I think I've said this before, but I actually really like dragging out my blush towards the under part of my brows, towards my brow bone area and my temples as well. I'm actually going to use some of this blush as a bronzer for my forehead, so I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to start with my eyes now. For my eyes, I'm going to do a very simple eye look, just red eyeshadow and a little bit of shimmer on top. So I'm going to highlight my brow bone with a mixture of Oriente and Rosé from the Culture Shock palette. I've decided not to add shimmer to the red just yet, maybe at all, but yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. And that is basically, now that I'm done with everything, the next thing I'm going to do is actually start to create like the candy cane swirls around my eyes. So I'm going to be using a white face paint. So what I've done is I've mixed it with a little bit of red so that it has this like pink color, like, but not that pink. So I've mixed those two together. And one thing I've realized with the paint I'm actually using and I'm working with is that it works better when you kind of put the brighter colors on top of white. So what I'm going to be doing is actually going around with the white first, and then using the red on top of the white, the ones that I want to be, you know, to represent like the red ones, so that it pops out more and it shows a little bit more.
I'm not the ones that brought you there. And so we ditched and we left. So I didn't even know you came back to not see us.
Bear in mind that this was 4 years ago. We've been dating for 4 years now.
But we were not dating, so I did not have any responsibility.
She belonged to the street.
Yeah, she belonged to the streets. But anyways, Drake's concert was the second time. The third time, I think the third time I saw you was at a birthday party I was booked for.
That day, you want some problematic.
I came with some. I came with some spice things. I came with like two girls. Shout out to them. I pulled up with two beautiful girls. You know, Mr. Eazi. You know, and I saw Temi there. I didn't even know you were there. Dad was washing everybody's clothes, the kids' clothes, my mom's clothes, everybody. Like, I would see my dad actually take everybody's clothes on Saturday morning and wash everything and hang it, which is the importance of like a father figure, because I saw my dad do that.
So I'm done with this. So what I basically did is I mixed a little bit of pink and used it to highlight the red so that it looks more, you know, vibrant and like less 2D. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take more of my hot, that is the color from the Culture Shock palette, and I'm going to apply it in between these places because I think it would look even, you know, more in your face and more vibrant that way. So I'm finally done with that, and then I am going to actually take my powder. So I have this fluffy brush and I'm going to use it to set, you know, certain areas of my face.
So now you the cook, and I'm like,
that's rubbish.
What the fuck? Like, that's rubbish. My dad washed plate. My dad washed clothes. My dad swept. He mopped. Did that make him less of a man? No. Like, did that make anybody lose respect for him or my mom lose respect for him? No. So I feel like on the matter of chores, I think it should be shared.
Just to kind of chip into what they were talking about in terms of like, you know, relationship or what your roles should be in relationship. Personally, not just personally as well, I think it's a general rule of thumb to understand that because you're a woman doesn't mean you should do, or your role in your relationship should be strictly, you know, the status quo of the role of a woman, and same as a guy. Like, it's kind of weird to think that even people in our generation, like people in our 20s, people in their 20s, people, you know, even as young as like 19, 18, things like that, still have the mentality that because you're a woman, your role in the relationship is to cook and clean and nothing else. Like, we have to kind of help each other. The whole point is to help each other halfway. I think that's a more progressive way of looking at these things. You can't just expect that she cooks throughout or she cleans throughout. It's like, okay, what are you doing in that time? Like, you could help out, and it doesn't emasculate you in any way. It doesn't take anything away from you. To be honest, it's actually something that I would say is a thing of pride, to be able to show up for your significant other and help them out. Yeah, that's what I'll say. But yeah, that's another topic for another day. So now I am done with that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is highlight my nose bridge and the tip of my nose, and I'm using Oriente for that. So just going to put it there. It still has a little red on it from this thing, from the eyeshadow, but it's okay. I don't particularly mind. It's really gloomy today. Like, the sun is like coming in, going back. It's very gloomy. I hope I can at least catch a little bit of sunlight to take like really nice pictures. Okay, and I'm done with that. Now I'm just going to apply mascara, and I'm not sure if I want to do eyeliner just yet. I don't know, but I'm leaning towards not doing it.
Pregnant, they fight from their jobs.
Yeah.
The guy who impregnated her, a lot of the time, has to foot the bill.
Yeah.
Because no one will hire me because I have a newborn child.
Yeah.
Which I think is the fault of businesses not having daycare, for example.
Yeah.
That's the society we live in. When certain women start having their first children, they suddenly see that they stop getting the same. They stop going up that corporate ladder.
Yeah, the corporate ladder. Yeah.
Basically done with my eyeliner. I decided to go for like a pink one with the face paint, and it was just like a really nice contrast to everything. So now I'm going to actually put diamonds all over in certain areas. In some of the shade Oriente and Rosé, I'm just going to put them on my cheeks to highlight. And now I'm going to do my lips. I'm not sure what I want to do for my lips, honestly. I really want to do something red, but I feel like the red would be too much. But let's see though. So I want to try out these two red shades. This is Ade and Tiara. These are red lipsticks. Like one is a matte lipstick and one is a gloss from Z Cosmetics. So I want to try it out with this look. I hope it actually matches and I don't look too red. So I'm just going to use the bright red one in the middle. Just use a clear lip gloss to go over everything because I don't want it to be matte. Like I said, I'm not sure which one of them is the matte one, but one of them is matte. Now I'm going to take the Z Cosmetics Culture Shock palette and dip it into the really gold one, that's Oriente, and place it right here. I've obviously gone ahead to do my hair and put on some earrings, and this is how the look came out. I really like it. I don't know, what do you think? And if you're inspired to recreate it, please tag me on Instagram and I will leave it down below. And also don't forget to use my discount code if you want to purchase any of the products I use from Z Cosmetics. I'll also leave it in the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Give this video a thumbs up and I will see you next time. Mwah.